How could thousands of fans who had already booked flights, hotels, and rearranged their entire lives to attend what was supposed to be the concert event of the year suddenly receive notification just days before the scheduled performance that the entire show has been cancelled due to stage safety issues that apparently nobody identified during months of planning and preparation? The entertainment industry was thrown into absolute chaos yesterday when Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi jointly issued an emergency statement announcing the cancellation of their highly anticipated Bangkok concert originally scheduled for this month, citing catastrophic structural problems with the venue's stage that pose unacceptable safety risks to performers, crew, and audience members and that cannot be adequately addressed in the time remaining before the planned performance date. The shocking revelation that the stage infrastructure is so fundamentally unsafe that it requires complete renovation rather than simple repairs has sparked immediate questions about how such a massive oversight could occur, who is responsible for the failure to identify these problems earlier in the planning process, and what this means for the tens of thousands of fans who had already invested substantial money and effort into attending a concert that has now been pushed back by over a year, to May 2026. The devastation visible in both Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi's faces during the emotional video announcement they posted, where both appeared genuinely heartbroken about disappointing their fans and frustrated by circumstances beyond their control, has at least partially mitigated fan anger by making clear that the cancellation decision was made with extreme reluctance and only after determining there was absolutely no alternative. Why would structural engineers and safety inspectors wait until mere days before a major concert to identify stage problems so severe they require complete renovation? And does the catastrophic nature of these safety issues suggest negligence or corruption in earlier inspection processes that should have caught these problems months ago, when they could have been addressed without last-minute cancellation? According to the detailed statement released by the concert production company, the stage safety issues were only identified during final technical rehearsals when the full weight of equipment, staging elements, and performers was loaded onto the structure for the first time in the complete concert configuration, at which point concerning movements and sounds prompted immediate emergency inspection that revealed structural integrity problems far more severe than anyone had anticipated. The technical report obtained by engineers describes multiple points of structural weakness, including compromised support beams, inadequate load distribution systems, and foundation issues that create genuine risk of partial or complete stage collapse if the concert were to proceed as planned. The fact that these life-threatening problems were apparently not visible or detectable during earlier planning stages raises disturbing questions about the adequacy of standard safety inspection protocols and whether corner cutting or negligence by venue management created this preventable disaster. The detail that has fans absolutely furious and demanding accountability is that sources close to the production reveal the Bangkok venue had been specifically warned months ago by independent structural consultants about potential stage problems that required investigation, but venue management apparently dismissed or ignored these warnings without conducting proper follow-up inspections until it was too late to address the issues without massive disruption. If these allegations are accurate, it means the cancellation chaos could have been entirely prevented if venue operators had taken safety concerns seriously and invested in proper inspection and maintenance, rather than gambling that the problems were minor or non-existent. The potential legal liability for both the venue and any individuals who negligently ignored safety warnings is enormous, with lawsuits from disappointed fans, financial losses from cancellation, and possible criminal charges for reckless endangerment, all being discussed by legal experts analyzing the situation. Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi's decision to be completely transparent about the reasons for cancellation, rather than attempting to obscure or minimize the safety issues, demonstrates their prioritization of honesty and safety over protecting business partners or avoiding difficult conversations, though it also exposes them to sharing in fan anger and disappointment, even though the structural problems were clearly not their fault. The Bangkok concert that has now been postponed was originally conceived as a major collaborative event showcasing both Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi's musical and performance talents in international setting, their first joint concert appearance and a significant milestone in their increasingly public partnership both professionally and personally. The show had been planned for months with elaborate staging, choreography, special effects, and guest appearances, with ticket sales reaching capacity within hours of going on sale and generating enormous excitement among fans across Asia and internationally, who saw this as opportunity to witness both stars performing together in ways that would be unprecedented and potentially historic. The cancellation represents not just logistical nightmare but genuine emotional blow to everyone who had invested hope and anticipation in experiencing this unique event. The identification of the stage safety problems during final technical rehearsals created immediate crisis for the production team, who had to make rapid decisions about whether the issues could be quickly addressed with emergency repairs, or whether cancellation was the only responsible option. According to sources familiar with the decision-making process, Multiple structural engineers were brought in for emergency consultation, all of whom independently concluded that the problems were too severe and too fundamental to the stage's basic structure to be safely remedied through quick fixes or temporary reinforcement. The unanimous professional opinion that proceeding with the concert would create unacceptable risk of catastrophic failure, including possible stage collapse, left the production team with no choice but to cancel despite the enormous financial and reputational costs of doing so. Lu Yuning and Zhao Lusi's personal involvement in the cancellation decision, and their choice to directly address fans through emotional video statement, rather than simply releasing corporate press release, demonstrates their understanding of how devastating this news would be, and their desire to take personal responsibility for communicating with people who had invested so much in attending. The video shows both stars appearing genuinely upset and apologetic, with Zhao Lusi visibly emotional, and Lu Yuning's voice breaking at several points as they explained the situation and expressed their heartbreak about disappointing fans. Their specific emphasis on safety being non-negotiable, and their refusal to consider proceeding with the show despite the cancellation consequences showed maturity and prioritization of human safety over commercial or career considerations. The postponement to May 2026 rather than attempting to reschedule for earlier date reflects the magnitude of renovation work required to make the venue stage safe for the kind of elaborate production Lu Yuning and Zhao Lusi had planned. Structural engineers have apparently advised that completely rebuilding portions of the stage infrastructure will require several months of construction work, followed by extensive testing and certification before the venue can be approved for use in major productions. The decision to commit to a specific new date over a year in the future rather than leaving timing vague provides fans with concrete information they can use for planning, but also creates risk if unexpected delays in renovation work force additional postponements. The financial implications of the cancellation are staggering and complex, involving not just refunds for purchased tickets but potential compensation for fans' non-refundable travel expenses, payments to performers and crew who had scheduled time for the concert, costs already incurred for staging and production elements, and potential legal liability depending on how contractual obligations and responsibility for the safety failures are ultimately determined. Insurance policies may cover some of these costs, but the total financial impact is likely to reach millions of dollars and will create complicated negotiations between various parties about who bears what portion of the losses. Lu Yuning and Zhao Lusi's own financial exposure depends on the specific terms of their contracts and agreements, but both stars almost certainly face significant personal financial loss from the cancellation. Fan reactions to the cancellation announcement have ranged from devastated disappointment to understanding support to furious anger depending on individual circumstances and perspectives. Fans who had already traveled to Bangkok, or who had booked non-refundable travel and accommodations, expressed the most acute frustration and financial harm, with many facing thousands of dollars in lost deposits and expenses that ticket refunds alone will not cover. The production company's announcement that they are exploring options for partial compensation or assistance for fans who incurred significant travel expenses has been appreciated, but also criticized as inadequate given the magnitude of some people's losses. Some fans have organized to pursue class action legal options seeking full compensation for all cancellation-related expenses. The postponement to May 2026 creates additional challenges for fans attempting to decide whether to commit to attending the rescheduled concert, as the extended timeframe introduces uncertainty about whether they will still have the same availability, resources, and interest over a year from now. Many fans express frustration that even if they want to attend the rescheduled show, life circumstances may prevent them from doing so by May 2026, effectively meaning the cancellation has permanently denied them the opportunity to attend a Lu Yuning and Zhao Lusi concert regardless of the eventual rescheduling. This sense of permanent loss despite technical rescheduling has intensified emotional responses beyond what typical postponement might generate. The investigation into how the stage safety problems went undetected or unreported for so long has already begun, with Bangkok authorities apparently launching inquiry into venue management practices and inspection protocols. The potential for criminal negligence charges, if it is determined that safety warnings were deliberately ignored, creates significant legal jeopardy for venue operators, and possibly for city officials responsible for oversight of entertainment venue safety standards. The international attention focused on this case due to the high profile of Lu Yuning and Zhao Lusi, and the thousands of fans affected means that authorities face pressure to conduct thorough investigation and hold responsible parties accountable rather than allowing the matter to be quietly dismissed or settled. The impact on Lu Yuning and Zhao Lusi's reputation and career has been mixed, with most observers recognizing that the safety problems were not their fault while also associating them with the disappointment and chaos of the cancellation. Their transparent communication and obvious genuine distress about the situation has helped maintain fan support and has generally protected them from being blamed personally. But the association with such a high-profile failure inevitably creates some reputational damage regardless of where actual responsibility lies. Their decision to commit to the May 2026 rescheduled date demonstrates their intention to eventually fulfill their commitment to fans, which has helped maintain goodwill despite the immediate disappointment. The broader implications for concert production and venue safety standards may ultimately prove to be the most significant outcome of this crisis, as the near disaster has focused attention on potential inadequacies in standard inspection and certification processes that are supposed to